Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And do we have a good one for you today? I am excited because this person that I have on, we got to spend a little time in the desert. We had a good old time drinking, hanging around a golf course, raising money for Prism, but also just an all-around stand-up person. So that being said, everyone's favorite part of the show where I stop talking and the guest starts. Damian, please introduce yourself. Tell people who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Joe. That was a beautiful introduction. Uh, going back to what we were talking about, pre-recording, I started out in the AV industry as an audio engineer. Just to tie it to current times, I'm currently a technical support specialist now. Ahead of that, and I'm not so much audiovisual anymore. I'm more of an IT role right now. Yeah, I got my start in audiovisual as a video engineer. I went to school for music. I had a bachelor's degree and a general music degree. I guess it's like composition focused. But when I was there, we had an elective that was in a studio behind a small performance space, and that's how I got into the tech side of things. Is being in that elective class because it was a literal studio where the class was in. So we would show up, the instructor would show us how to record, and we would do like mock recording sessions. So we would go into this room, a bunch of random of us, and just start playing random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we would learn how to record in the studio environment. And I want to say that the main thing was in that class was learning about signal flow. Because he would tie in a bunch of, so say if I was on guitar, he would tie in the guitar into a multi-effects processor, tie that into a different like digital signal processor, tie that into a compressor, tie that into, it was just like a chain of processors.
Well, and I think, kind of, I'm gonna pause in there. Like, I think that's the thing. I started in live music, right? Like, I started live production, and that, and now it's like, everything AV is all inclusive. But in the end, it really is just signal flow, right? I mean, whether it's audio signal flow, video signal flow, that's all we're doing. We're getting ones and zeros from point A to point B. That's our job, right?
Entirely, yeah, 100%, yeah.
And I think that's, and so talk. So what was it? What is it that made you then go from, how did you say you started music, you were at the theater, kind of getting into that tech side. Then what brings you then into the higher education, going into the college? What made that transition? And even now into more of the IT part.
Yeah, it's been I'm trying to formulate how to say this. I just recently got into higher ed, probably right before the pandemic lockdown happened. That's when I got hired on. I got hired on to my current role at TUNAM 2 weeks before the lockdown happened. So I was on campus. I was on campus for 2 weeks. Oh yeah, you guys are working from home now. Okay.
And then what is that like? What do you do then? Like, you're new on the job. You don't even know where the bathrooms are. Now you're like using your own bathroom at home. And like, what does that job look? What do you do?
Right. Well, for this first, like, I can't remember the time frame too well. The first timeline of that was us just on that FMLA. It's like a government. You're on. It's technically considered like sick leave. because of lockdown. And then once that went away, we were working from home, and basically all that was us doing professional development. So we would find any webinar, any remote training, and I want to say Avixa had opened up a lot of their training modules for free during that time. So I got into that, doing all of that stuff. So yeah, it was basically anything I could find to learn and study.
Yeah. And so then you come back from the pandemic, and now you still don't know where everything is around the office. So what did that then what did you do? What's your team there? Like, kind of, what was that then roll into kind of how you are now?
Well, I want to preface that with before 2020, I had been in the live events industry, AV, since like 2008, 2009.
Okay, quite a while.
So I was doing like hotel, ballroom, corporate meetings, concerts, like clubs, like anything I could do. But the main bread and butter with that was for the corporate environment, hotels, hotel AV, live events, and that really solidified my concept of signal flow. Because when you're in that live event space and there's one component that doesn't work, but you have everything hooked up, you have to go through the signal flow to find your problem area. Or else, because you're not going to test every component at its stop that you're setting up. You're just trying to set up and get everything nice and pretty, and then you see if it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, those are the same type of like skills that didn't transfer over, right? I mean, it's just the only difference is you're not setting up, tearing down, you're not doing all that. It's installed and supporting more users than the stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. So at C&M, it was dealing more with like controllers, TSPs, real all kind of like odd in the box. And we use Crestron. So we have like I think it's like the DM, it's like the digital media processor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little DMPSs or whatever they are.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm surprised I knew a product number. I am horrible at product names.
Yeah.
I just go, I know the manufacturers, and I know that you send stuff around. Do they work well together?
Right.
I'm impressed with myself here.
Yeah, you knew what we were using. That's exactly it. DMPSs. That's all we use over here.
Yeah.
So I was learning that system, but I feel like the live event industry really helped me out and solidify like that concept of signal flow. So going in, I already had tons of experience. And basically from there was just learning how to operate that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Or restarting it if it froze. Everything else was kind of intuitive because I knew what was going on theoretically. And it actually seemed easier because I was like, oh, everything's already set up. I was like, cool. I just have to mess with this computer. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, well, that's what I always say. Like, the biggest difference is, even though it's kind of AV is AV, right? Projectors are projectors, audio is audio. But the difference is in live events, you're managing stuff and processes. In commercial higher ed, you're managing more people than things, because you're really, that's the whole thing. Is like the equipment's there. Does it break? Sure, it breaks. You got to fix it. But really, our issues aren't the equipment. It's our faculty members using it effectively, right? And then helping them. So I always feel like it's always much more a people job in our side than it is a technology job.
Yeah, and I feel like the live events industry really helped me out in that regard as well, because you learn a customer service there on the spot. And I'm not saying like every show I did was perfect. There were like a handful of times where it's like Murphy's Law, you know, everything's just going wrong. You fix one thing and then another thing goes wrong. The client's just staring at you like, what the hell? I'm paying you like thousands of dollars to get this set up.
Yep.
Weird, you know, and they're very. It's a lot different than a classroom because you have multiple people there. And your boss, like everybody, has their eyes on you.
Yeah.
Hey, are you gonna fix this or not? And it's like, what are you gonna say? You know, it's like, yeah, of course I am. Or it's like, all right, well, if you're not, go home. You know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that there's that like pace difference, right? When
Right.
you're in a live event, it's, you know, do it now, right? But when you're in, you know, in classroom, you still have to, you got to get it up. You don't want wasted class time,
Right.
but there
Right.
is more sense of casualness because when your problems are not usually quick in the moment, got to get this right. That sense of urgency is just different. You know?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like in a classroom, it's like stuff usually like just freezes on you. It's a user error. They're not familiar with the system.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of troubleshooting.
So kind of with that, so now you've been in higher ed then, you know, we're looking at, I guess, 4 years or so now. So where is your trajectory now? What do you, because I know you're one of our prisms, we're going to get to that part. So what are you working on now? What kind of is your trajectory looking like from here? What is that next step for you?
Well, with the Prism Scholarship, it really helped me, I guess, show off to my employers. You know, it's like, hey, like, look at this, I got a scholarship. They're gonna send me out here. And all just without anybody really telling me, I found this through ETC, and I decided to apply, and I was just like, and I applied like the last day that it was about to close. I was like, hey, why not? You know, it's here, it's open. So I applied, and I got it. And I was super excited when I received it. I was like, wow, I was not expecting it at all.
So what are the highlights for you then? Like you've going through the process, obviously there's the training, the test, all that. So what are those highlights that have kind of made that career difference for you?
Being to show my employer that I have initiative and that I'm working, I'm a self-paced person, and I'm not just there like on the sidelines, being told what to do. I guess, you know, I kind of find things to do, and I'm self-driven and self-motivated.
Yeah.
To grow my own career, regardless of the position or where I'm at. That's just the way I am, and they see that, and it's like, wow, like that's a like model employee to, you know. It's like we don't have to tell you to go pursue these things, or it's a required training. It's required if you need to seek professional development. It's like I'm doing that on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and like, oh, cool. Like, what else do you want to get into?
Yeah.
For me,
you know, go ahead.
For me, it's I'm very I guess I'm like very like opportunistic. So if I see something, an opening, I'll take it. It's like I don't care if I feel like I won't get it. So it's like, hey, it's there. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I transitioned into the IT role here, because at my school at CNM, the IT department is more of the bread and butter there. There's a lot more room to grow. And actually, when we were coming back from the pandemic, our AV department merged with IT after the lockdown was settling down and people were coming back, like, reintegrated into, I don't know what you would call that, like, because it wasn't back to normal, but it was like the reintegration of coming back to society in a way.
Yeah, well, that's what we saw during the pandemic, right? The IT, AV, all of that really had to live together anyway. They did before the pandemic, but now you really saw it during it, and so it's natural, right? I think that's we've seen that at a lot of schools, that kind of merger, that consolidation of services under one another since then. I think it's been the biggest move in our industry. Right?
Yeah, and I was there for all of that. So in that time frame, when we were kind of fully back, we got merged into our IT department, and we started taking on more roles in IT, like service desk role, but we were still an AV technician. Mm-hmm. We would kind of be like a hybrid employee. Where it's like, oh yeah, you guys get to cover the help desk for a week and see what's going on over here. Because before it was IT and AV separate. And with that merger, that we got merged by IT, so they're like, hey, come over and shadow us, because this is like where it's going. Right?
Yeah.
So from there, in all of that, it's when I won the scholarship. So at that same time, I was kind of new, a fresh face with IT, and I was working with them.
Yeah.
And a new director, knew everybody. It's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. And when I told them, I was like, could I get a week off of leave to go to Vegas for this like international trade show, audiovisual? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, like what are we paying? And I told them nothing. I said, what? They're like, wait, we don't have to pay anything? It's like, yeah, go. And even like, you're going, dude. Like, and that kind of, they were like, what are you doing? And that really showed my employer, just my initiative.
See, I love that, because I think that's the part that I think we don't talk about a lot. Like, we've seen people through the Prism and all that, and through HEPMA in general, like, get new roles, improve, get those things. But that kind of sense of, hey, my boss trusts me now. They know that I'm a valuable asset, that I'm not, I'm doing the training I can, taking advantage of resources that are in front of me. On my own, like your words you use, take your own initiative, right? And I think that's important. Like, I look at this, like, as a manager, I always look at this because I know I'll get employees say, hey, there's this conference in wherever, in Vegas, and then in New York, and I want to go, and it costs this much, and and you want to support everybody, but I always look at this going, well, have you done the things that are free, right? Like, are you going on Avixa? Are you doing webinars? Are you, we had a local trade show that was a one day that cost us nothing. Are you taking that? Or do you just want a free vacation away from the office for a week? Right. I mean, like, and me to pay for it. Right. So I always look at those things going, yeah, the people who take the initiative, those who I see who are showing up, when I post something on our Slack channel that says, free webinar, this could be good, we're working on this, we're about to install XYZ, and here's a training on it. And those people who do those things,
like, oh man, that's it. There's a free training. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I get to sit with an industry expert. Yeah, I'll be there. It's like,
and those are the ones that then I want to support, right? When it comes to getting promotions, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to other trouble, like, yeah, those people who've been showing me everything when they had no benefit to me, but they were doing it to benefit themselves and make them a better employee, those are the ones you want to celebrate and honor and give those extra opportunities to, right?
Yeah, and especially when you're looking at resources outside of your immediate community, outside of So that's what I was doing. I was not just focused on my job. I was focused on learning things and gathering resources from outside of my job.
Yep. 100%. 100%. So now, so really quickly, let's kind of move now. I want to move kind of to, even just on the Prism, and we're going to open up applications for the next cohorts kind of coming up in November. If someone were listening to this and thinking about doing it, I know you applied on the last day. We suggest people not apply on the last day.
Yeah, and that's just because I received that email, like that closing day. Where I found that email, that closing day, I was like, oh man, I got to do this now. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or also, yeah, I totally agree with you. If you see that come in, don't submit your application that same day. I mean, take time to.
So, what are the most valuable things you got out of it besides your boss, like that process, and someone who might be thinking about applying? What advice do you have? Like, what are those kind of top reasons why? Hey, take the leap, go for it.
Getting your CTS.
Yeah. Because that is kind of our stamp of approval in our industry, right?
Yeah.
It's funny how I've had this conversation before that, like, even though I have a PhD, when I'm talking to AV people, they care more about the CTS. It's like, PhD was so much harder to get, but, it's so much more work, but it's like, whatever, but the CTS is the stamp of approval. It shows that you're kind of one of us, right?
Right. Yeah. And for me, I had been in the AV industry for quite a while, and I never had my CTS.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always question, it's like, do I need this? It's like, would it be beneficial? This is even before finding out about him, before being involved with him. I was aware of the program. I was like, would this serve me at all?
Yeah.
It's like, because I have all this bulk of experience. Never had trouble finding a job. It's like, do I really need this? And I'd go to the website, I'd see the price tag, and I'd be like, is this worth it? And how valuable is this going to be? And I really took a leap of faith with the scholarship application. And when I got it, I was very excited to dig into their material.
Mm-hmm.
And like right off the bat, I was like, wow, I'm learning stuff that is like highly specialized.
Yeah.
Even though I know how to run a show or even like a concert, it's like I did not know about any of those things.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's kind of the key, right? Is like, again, it shows that I'm well-rounded in this. I know this stuff. I can go and get, I can hold my own. And I'm actually the exact same. I 20 some years in the entertainment industry, worked TV, music, all that. Never got a CTS. I didn't feel like I needed it. But then when I came to the commercial side, and maybe that's just the difference, live events, I got work, in live events because of my reputation doing other gigs, right? You do one gig well, someone wants to hire you for the next. In commercial side and the higher ed side, it's like there is a sense of, hey, I'm throwing money to you. Who am I going to trust? Also, our cycles are longer, right? It's not just one show a gig. Our cycle, we're months, we're years. We're setting up, hundreds of rooms worth of stuff to where that, hey, can I trust this person to this $1 million budget that goes over a year and over a year? And that's where I think that value then comes in to say, hey, no, I'm here for the long haul. I've done what it takes to prove I'm one of the family, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I entirely agree. And just the specialized knowledge I gained with CTS, even though it's just a general cert, it's like I could still go back and go my notes and still learn something.
Yeah.
Like I don't have all of that memorized.
Yeah.
But just going through all that. It's like, wow, there's so many different areas that I need to do. I'm much more better with learning.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I wanted to say at the golf tournament. I think my base statement definitely still rings true with me. It's like we're such a diverse knowledge base that there's really nothing like this out there. You might go to a manufacturing knowledge base. You might go to your organization's knowledge base. You might go to a forum for knowledge base. Google. There's nothing like that where you have that knowledge base. So many different universities and colleges.
Yeah.
With an expert in every single one of those. Where I could just post on our forum and get a response like, hey, have you guys had any experience with this? Hey, I'm using this.
Yeah.
And like within 24 hours, you'll get several answers. Several solutions. I've never seen that anywhere. Even in IT, I'm starting to get into IT. I say IT is even much less than AV in the sense of community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's really the goal with winning the scholarship that we introduced ahead. The CTS is fine, it's great. But then
bonus,
when you realize you can reach out to anybody here, it's really amazing. It's really neat.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that community side is what's really, amazing. Like one of the lines that I always say is, we're not competitors, right? We're collaborators, right? We're not competition with one another.
Right.
And so that fact that, hey, we can come together and be able to you share ideas, share war stories, right? Our schools might be competition with one another for trying to get students and things like that. But as colleagues, like you said, throw something on it. If I, all of a sudden, I always say, I'm one email away from having to do a project I have no idea about, right? Like, oh, yeah, all of a sudden we got a donor and now we got to build this thing. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? Well, guess what? I have an entire group, the entire HETMA group, where I can go, hey, who's done this? And then jump on a call and learn, right? I can't do that if I in the corporate world, right? You're not going to call your competitor in the corporate world and ask them to do something, right? But in ours, hey, here, let me show you. Let me tell you how to do it. Let me tell you things I did wrong. Here's my learning lessons. Here's things I did right? And that's so unique,
Yeah, and it's like I could call the manufacturer of the device all day long, but they'd be like, I don't know where your setup is. Like, it's not my job, really. I'm teaching you how to use the device. Everything else is up to you.
100%. 100%.
And I think we all know the pains with Googling for answers. You'll get 20 different answers on like 20 different pieces of equipment that you Google for. You just go into the rabbit hole. You join. You have everybody there. Most likely, there's going to be several people who know what you're experiencing.
Yeah, 100%. And what that's the saying is there's probably nothing that we haven't all done at some point, or someone in the group hasn't done, or even if no one has, it becomes like a fun project for everybody to get involved. Here's a little bit here, and you kind of do that group work together, right? Think of it like the golf tournament, right? None of us had done it before, but we're all at my house. We're all throwing all this stuff around, pulling it together. And it was kind of neat to even watch at the golf tournament while we were prepping, just seeing it all come together. Like there's just here's a garage full of boxes. I don't know what to do with it, everybody, but let's go. Look at this. 3 hours later, boom, we're done.
And every single one of us has specialized knowledge in something. And the way that we're all interconnected is amazing because we have access to that.
Yep. 100%.
It really is amazing. I have not. I haven't seen anything like that.
Yep. 100%. 100%. All right. So, what was your best moment of the desert? What was your favorite moment? Golfing?
Yeah.
What did you guys hit? What did you hit?
I have no idea.
You just hit balls and it was hot.
That was my very first time.
Oh.
So it was such an honor to get dressed up for it. You know.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You had to go in and you bought an outfit. And...
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You got your whole golf outfit and everything. I remember that now.
Yeah, and just having that experience and talking to the brand guys there, you know, it was an amazing experience. First time golfer. I bombed horribly, but I had so much fun. Started getting the hang of it towards the end of it. I had fun talking to the brand guys, just taking it all in. You know, and I think by the end of it, I was just like, wow, it's just like kind of out of my own. I guess and that was the same for Infocom.
Yeah,
the scholarship going to Infocom. Same exact thing. You know, it's just like it's just an honor to be a part of it all the first time.
That's awesome, and that's awesome to hear, because I think that's just awesome to hear. Because I think that we always, you know, it's tough to step out of the comfort zone, right? And you get out there and go, I've never golfed. Now I'm golfing with people who golf, right? But to have that time and go, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. We're here for a good time. We're here to build relationships together. We're here to support a good cause. And then next thing you know, now you see why golf is so addictive, right? You're like, 4 hours out there just having fun, talking shop, kicking back, having some drinks.
I think the first time I drove the ball kind of far, I was like, that felt really good.
Nothing feels better than a swing and then that hit, the sound of a perfect connection.
I finally got it, and I was just like, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Makes the whole thing worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah, and of course, probably the biggest thing is helping the future scholars get theirs, you know?
Yep.
Just like
100%.
That's going to be. I'm so excited for the new recipients. You know, because I went through that. I know what they're going to feel. I know what they're going to feel. They're going to get that email, open it up. They're like, no way, I got it. It's like, cool. Of course, you still have to do the work, but it's so rewarding. And it's especially so rewarding when you do the work. You pass the exam. And then you get rewarded.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is.
I love that. Such a good thought. That rewarding. See, I like that. Now I feel good about. And obviously, I love the Prism Scholarship. It's dear to me. But that's awesome to hear, and I love hearing this kind of like that first, that experience. So that being said, all right, now it's this part of the show. Now we have to, we're gonna go to the rapid round. So this part of the show, last few minutes here, rapid round of questions that mean nothing. There's no right or wrong answer unless I have an opinion of my own, in which case there could be a wrong answer. All right. So now, first question. Everyone gets the same first question. College is about traditions. So what is your favorite college tradition?
Oh, man. That's terrible. I'm not too sure. Graduating.
Yeah. Commencement's that's a top one. That's one of the top choices.
Graduating. Starting. And to fill you in on a secret, for my degree, I was there maybe close to 6 years, maybe like 5.5. And I was going for just such a dare I say useless degree.
Hey, my undergrad is in philosophy, so don't talk about useless degrees.
It was music, general music degree. But I started, I kept with it, and honestly, I think I'm so much better off achieving that bachelor's, regardless of what it is. Because I've seen so many of my colleagues not move up because they don't have bachelors. And then I've even asked employers, like, what bachelors are you looking for? It's, oh, nothing really. You have your bachelor's and experience, you're in.
Yeah. That's what I said. No one ever asks what your degree is in after you get a degree. It's just, do you have it? You have
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like no one ever asked your GPA. I don't know why people try so hard on GPAs. No one ever asked. Never. Unless you want to get into grad school, then you have to have a good GPA. But no one's ever asked.
So I definitely struggled in that regard, but that tradition of starting and finishing and getting that degree,
I love it.
You should do it. Just do it.
Yeah. That sense of accomplishment, nothing beats that sense of accomplishment.
Right.
All right. Next rapid round question. I always I'm making this a normal one now. I always seem to be saying this one. So when I come visit you one day, when I get out there and I get out to New Mexico, where are we eating? Where are we drinking? What are we doing?
We're gonna have a tour of all the breweries out here, Joe.
The good breweries?
Oh yeah, I know the good spots. Where are we eating?
All right.
I was thinking about some more. I'll have to find where the best spring chili is out here. And the bar food's like pretty damn good here too. The bar food out here is pretty damn good too.
All right.
And the big thing out here is food trucks. I know a couple of food trucks that take you get some asada tacos, asada fries.
Yes.
Fusion, like a Asian street food fusion. Like, there's plenty of places to eat.
I am a sucker for a good food truck. And the dirtier the food truck is, the better it is. That's my philosophy. Give me street corner food any day of the week. I love it.
But yeah, there's plenty of places to go. Enough for 2 or 3 trips out here, Joe.
Oh, all right. I like it. Yeah. So then, what was your beer of choice at the La Quinta Brewery when you were there?
Ooh, I want to say their IPA.
The IPA? Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. It was their West Coast IPA.
Mm-hmm. It's called Par for the Course.
Yeah.
Their IPA.
Yeah.
Par for the Course.
Very, very good. Smooth. Not too bitter. I'm not much of an IPA guy. I like more the wheats. Have in on some stouts.
Yeah.
IPA is like, they're good, but it can be overdone sometimes. And the one at La Quinta was just those butter.
Yep. I go for their poolside blonde or their Mexican lager. Those are my two.
Yeah.
Those are my two. My two go-tos there.
The poolside blonde was delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And then while we're talking about La Quinta, so you got your first round of golf in. So which part did you prefer? Did you prefer driving, putting, or chipping up? Which shot was your shot?
Putting.
Yeah. Well, it's already up there. And those were hardcore. I mean, so PGA West Pete Dye, all those greens are like potato chips. You hit it too hard, that thing goes rolling.
Yeah.
So that's a tough course. So
but that was my favorite just because that's what I was most good at. When I did hit that drive the first time, that was the most rewarding.
Yes. Yeah. See, it's the good shot that keeps you coming back. That's the one that it gets you every time.
After like 10 terrible fails, I finally got one. It's just like, yes.
Yeah. All right. So next rapid round, going to Infocom, getting all that took you out of your shell, out of your comfort zone. Going to the golf tournament, getting all that got you out of your comfort zone. What is next for you? What comfort zone are you breaking and doing next?
Currently, I'm pursuing my CCNA.
Nice.
Cisco certified.
Cisco certified. Yeah, something.
Network
associate.
CCNA. Yeah, that's my next one. And to tie it back to how we were saying it, what we're talking about, how that initiative helped me with my employer. They had introductory Cisco classes, certs, which I was also taking during the scholarship recipients. I was doing that and the CTS.
Oh, geez.
Have a CCST in networking and cybersecurity from that. So they saw me doing that and with Hetma, and they were just like, what's going on with this guy?
I love it. That's great. So another quick one. In a few words, what value is there to the AV person? Say you're a traditional AV person in getting IT knowledge.
Oh, wait. I think I answered.
Okay, well, all right. Well, customer service. I know where you were going with there. No, so why would someone who's traditional AV go get IT certification?
That's where AV is moving.
Yeah, agree. Sure. That is the correct answer.
I mean, it's already there, but it's just going to increase.
Yep.
You're not going to want to hold on to obsolete kind of standalone setups. You're going to want things networked.
Yeah, and 100%.
You need to know the IT side of it, especially if you're in a higher ed institute and we have a bona fide networking team that you have to work with.
Yeah,
you want to be able to speak your language and not step on your toes and realize that there's all of your requests aren't going to be approved.
Yeah.
It's just going to be security issues down the road. And being able to understand those is going to help your relationship with different teams.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, last question. Now, here's the part. So I'm going to explain this. This now becomes your show. You get 1 minute. 1 minute to talk about anything you want to talk about. Doesn't have to be tech, doesn't have to be anything.
Cool.
But it's now your show. Pretend you started your own podcast. What are you talking about? You get 1 minute to talk, and your time starts now.
So I remember when we were in Las Vegas, and I think one of the first times I met you, we were talking about Metallica. Motorhead.
Motorhead, yeah.
Along those lines, my passion got me into AV is music. I'm also a music producer. I produce rock music, and it's just me. It's like a Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor situation.
All right.
I have stuff out there. If anyone's interested, look up Midnight 76. That's my band name. I'm about 3/4 of the way with completing another album, which I'm probably going to change the band name just because there's like 500 bands with Midnight in them. And this next album I'm very excited for. But what I have out is good. It was just me going into the studio. So I was tired of having bands fall apart. So I was like, All right, so I'm just going to book this time and see if my ideas are worth pursuing, if I like what I do there.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I like that.
And I was surprised in that now I'm in that trajectory.
All right, so now I got to hear some of your stuff. All right, so like
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails and stuff. Like, and you got what? Josh Freese just went over to Foo Fighters and he drumming for Foo Fighters.
Oh, Josh Freese is like every classic band ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's done the tour of bands, hasn't he? So
yeah, he's a drummer's drummer. He's like.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like it. All right, well, I'm gonna have to hear some of your stuff. So the very, very last question to close up is: please tell everybody how can they connect with you if they want to connect.
If they're on the forum, just find me, drop me a line. Other than that, I'm really non-existent with social media.
But the HETMA forum is the perfect place to do it. I always agree. Everyone connect there. And then, of course, connect at live
if
event.
If you're not joined with HETMA, join, and you'll be You'll be able to connect with not just me, but everyone.
Yep, totally agree.
You'll have access to that knowledge base that I was talking about. It really is amazing.
I love that thought. I love thinking about it as a knowledge base. But Damian, thank you so much for joining the show. This was great. It was great having you on, and this was a fun conversation. I'm jealous of you out there sitting out on a patio having your drink. It's gonna happen. I'm going next for mine after my next meeting that I have coming up in a couple of minutes here.
Oh, man. So I'm jealous of you with that beautiful backyard at that vacation, man.
Yeah. So, well, it doesn't suck. That's what I'll say. So, but thank you very much. And everybody, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Do connect with Damian on the HETMA channel.
And connect with all of us.
Connect with everybody. Absolutely. And of course, everybody, please do connect with it and follow HETMA. And you can find me at JosiahWay on all the socials. And everybody, I encourage you to hopefully share this, like it. And if you didn't like this episode, well, you didn't like these, there might be a better one next time. No idea. Thank you, everybody.
It was good talking to you, Joe.
Thank you.